Fighting spam. Anyone who has ever had an email account has received spam. Spam is unrequested email that is sent out to a large number of recipients. It has existed for a long time, but has become a problem in recent years. Although there are ways to decrease spam, currently the only way to completely eliminate it is by not having an email address. There are several types of spam: junk mail, adult content, non-commercial, and scams, just to name a few. The most common is junk email, identical messages from legitimate businesses advertising their products. This unsolicited information is a continuation of the regular paper junk mail of the past. Spam with adult content is usually a subcategory of junk mail. The messages direct the receiver to pornographic sites or advertise adult products. Non-commercial spam consists of messages without financial aims, such as chain letters, urban legends, social issues, and jokes. These emails often urge the recipient to forward the message to friends. Spam scams are fraudulent messages designed to swindle people out of money or personal information for the purpose of identity theft or other criminal activities. The most common problem with spam is that it's irritating. This is especially true for users of email accounts with limited storage capacity. Often they find themselves spending time deleting spam. Even with unlimited storage, large amounts of spam sometimes make it difficult to spot important correspondence. And spam filters sometimes mistake important emails for spam. Spam can also be a problem when advertisements for adult websites make their way to the email accounts of minors, children under the age of 18. And some groups, like senior citizens, are particularly vulnerable to spam scammers posing as representatives of government agencies or trusted corporations. Spam can also use up the resources of Internet service providers, ISPs, who then pass the added costs on to consumers. However, some ways to fight spam that gets past the filters are now standard email features. The most obvious way is limiting the public availability of email addresses. Email addresses should never be placed on public websites and should only be given out to trusted people and organizations. Whenever possible, it is wise to opt out of providing an email address unless you are certain it will not be passed on to companies that use spam. Another tactic is to complain directly to the ISP used by the spammer. Most ISPs will cancel the spammer's account if they receive enough complaints. However, this option doesn't always serve as effective enforcement because spammers can quickly activate new ISPs and email addresses. Another way is to file a complaint with the appropriate government agency enforcing spam laws. In the United States, the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, investigates all fraudulent spam email. Legitimate companies do purchase email addresses in bulk from other companies. Spammers involved in illegal activities or hoping to avoid such costs often use other tactics. For example, they may get addresses from newsgroup postings or web-based discussion boards. Hence, it is often a good idea to open up a free, disposable email account when one is required to access a particular service. This directs spam to accounts you don't actually rely on for important messages. Another way is to munge one's email address. Munging is altering the email address so that it can be read by people but cannot be collected by software that spammers use to collect addresses automatically. For example, catjam@home.net can be written as catjam@home.net or catjam@home_net. Although a person reading the email address can fill in the blanks to guess the right address, a computer program will not be able to authenticate the email address. Since spammers also often use software that guesses common email addresses, coming up with a unique email address is another way of avoiding the problem. Whatever method you use, until there are stronger laws against spamming and more effective ways to punish scammers, spam will continue to be a problem.